Whether your business, college, or organization is looking for e-learning, serious games, or training simulations, Designing Digitally will take your training needs to the next level. Every solution Designing Digitally provides is custom tailored to the client's specific needs and helps achieve organizational objectives through the use of innovative online learning experiences. Designing Digitally specializes in creating educational, engaging, and entertaining learning experiences that will stick with your learners and increase retention. Hey, good morning, everybody. Sorry about that. I did a swipe on my screen and I lost everything. I hope we're all still here. Sorry about that. Oh, good. Everybody can still see it. Sometimes when I'm the only one in the video, if it all of a sudden disappears, I can't get back in and we have to start all over. But anyways, hey, welcome to Wednesday TLD Cast. We have a little bit of a last minute change here. Andrew is unable to be our guest today, but that's okay because we have a tendency to roll with the punches around here. And thankfully, there has been a lot of conversation. I didn't get a chance to get on Twitter much yesterday, but there is still, I guess, yesterday's conversation that originally started from Monday's Myra Monday. I'm saying everybody's names wrong today. I don't know what my problem is. On how much data should we collect and all of that. That conversation continued on even after our session yesterday. So maybe that could be a topic for today, but for all intents and purposes, today is going to be another open forum TLD cast. So I apologize for advertising today with our wonderful sponsor from Designing Digitally, Mr. Andrew Hughes, but he was unable to make it today. And so we're not going to be able to show you all the cool stuff that they do over at Designing Digitally. But if you have not heard about them or seen them, definitely hit up their website and look at the outstanding work they do. Andrew has a very strong track record of he and his team creating some fantastic solutions and winning a lot of awards at places like DevLearn, DemoFest, and places like that. So lots of good stuff to look into. So I also want to tell you guys about TLDC 19. Looks like I see a couple faces in here today that maybe weren't here yesterday. So TLDC 19 coming January 28th and 29th in Phoenix, Arizona. We hope you will all get registered as soon as possible. Spend that end of year budget before you lose it. So nothing better than spending it on a fun event, connecting with all of your friends where you can actually learn a lot and really, really hyper start your career and get things moving in the right direction, or a change of careers, or start a new project. Boy, we've had books started because of TLDC events. We've had people find mentors, people find new jobs, new clients, new types of work to start doing. There's been a lot of value that has come out of our events, and we're super proud of that. So it is an outstanding way to invest in your own career if you're the one that has to foot the bill for it. It's a great way to do it. We work really hard to make sure that everybody gets value out of the events, and that it's not just a boondoggle. It's not just a place for you to come to Phoenix and go golf instead of hanging out at the event. We really want you to show up and to be present and to get a lot of great information and value out of your time with your peers at TLDC 19. So go to tldc19.com and get registered today. And thank you so much for dropping those in there. Appreciate that. And so here we go for today. So open forum again, as usual. If anybody in the chat actually today wants to jump in on video and give some commentary about some of the stuff on Twitter, I was just catching up on it like literally like 10 minutes before I went live. And so I missed a lot of it, but I noticed that Trish Ewell jumped in and joined the conversation. And she's my go-to person for data and analytics. And she's also, by the way, keynoting TLDC 19. And we are all definitely looking forward to that. So Alan still wants to see the tree chopping VR training. I know. Well, you can see that download if you it's free on Steam. For those of you that don't know what Steam is, it's a open gaming platform, and you can just go search for it. I forget what he calls it, but Designing Digitally created that simulation for free for people to use. It was for a client, but I guess they partnered together to be able to release it for free. I can't remember exactly all the details on it, but it's on the Steam platform. So if you're a gamer, you know what Steam is, and you can go search that and find that really cool tree trimming VR training for those professionals that are out there cutting trees because they're too close to wires and power lines and cable lines and all that kind of stuff. So, and it's cool. It's very well done. Very, very well done. All built in Unity 3D, I believe, and published into Steam. So, and Mr. Quetzalcoatl, is that question directed at me or at Alan? Just out of curiosity. Or everyone. Yeah, what projects are you working on? All right, let's drop it in for everybody. What are you guys working on? And maybe what can we do to help or to help learn from you? It's good, Greg. It's good to see you in here. I've not seen you in a while as well. Thanks for joining us today. If you've got any particular questions you'd like to ask, or some commentary, or something you'd like to talk about, drop it into the chat. Let us know. These open forums are my favorite. Sometimes it takes us a little while to get going, but once we get locked in on a good question and a good topic, open forums have proven in the past to be some of the most valuable. So just because we haven't quite defined today's topic doesn't mean you're not going to get some value out of it. It also means that you get the opportunity to steer this ship today. So if you can enjoy passively if you'd like, and learn from the serendipitous conversation, or you can jump in and offer up some questions, some ideas, some thoughts, and help guide us today in our conversation about training, learning, and development. But if he has something more interesting, more going on. Oh, okay, yeah. So I've got, boy, man, the projects I've got going on are too many at this point. I need to cut back. End of year projects are always hard, but fun to deal with for sure. Let's see what everybody else has got going on right now, and then I can drop in as well. So I just finished yesterday an onboarding ILT that I've been working on for months. I'm off till January 2nd now. Yay. Kim, that's awesome. I hope your onboarding went well. I hope everybody was onboarded successfully. And yes, perfect timing for the holidays. Congrats also. Oh, they're going to pilot it in January. Awesome. So you finished the development work on it, and now they're going to pilot it and implement it. Fantastic. Love it. Love to hear it. It'd be great to hear what everybody else is working on as well. I've always got lots of writing in the works. I've got pages and pages and pages of writing, but none of it has actually come to fruition. And the holidays sometimes are the moments when I get a little motivated to try to start organizing all my writing and possibly put a book together. But that particular annual event has not occurred yet. So I'm guessing probably right after Christmas is when that bug's going to bite, and I'm going to want to try to start doing that. But that would be one sort of side fun project. A couple of questions in the queue. Yes, there are. Thank you very much. Cheryl asks, we collect data on course completion to meet the requirements of funders. We do state and federal early learning programs. Oh, cool. But how do we go the next step to determine comprehension of the procedures beyond the ability to pass the quiz? Wow, Cheryl, this is the $1 million question, and it is a great, great question. Who has a great answer? That's my question. I think we've talked a lot about this in different ways, but never directly and specifically. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the chat, but thank you, Laura. I know I try really hard not to just try. One of these days I will make it happen, but I appreciate your support and pushing me forward on that. But anyways, okay, so back to our question. This is a hot topic. So let's look at this from the perspective of somebody trying to solve this problem. Let's put all of our heads together and see what are some of the options that Cheryl could come up with to go beyond the quiz and get comprehension of the procedures beyond the ability to just pass the quiz. So if you're training somebody on procedures, yes, I know. I figured it was a typo, Laura. It's okay. So if we go beyond the procedures, so my first question is always this: when this type of a question comes up, is how does the business measure those procedures, or how are those procedures done currently? And how can you measure success of whether or not people are doing the procedures? And there's a lot of questions actually that go around this. So this is one of those moments where if I was in a consultant role, I would just be asking a lot of why questions. So why are there procedures? What are the procedures? Are they tracked digitally? Do they do the steps of the procedures in a particular system, in a particular format, in an office, at home? What are the results of those procedures that you're teaching them, and how do those get tracked? I would want to draw the picture of that. What does that scenario look like? I would want to sketch it out on a whiteboard with a subject matter expert, someone that knows it, and look at all of the different elements of the procedures, and from software to maybe one of the steps in the procedure is just writing down pen and paper. I don't know, after a phone call or something like that. And I would want to write that down. Every possible way that the procedure gets done, and map that and chart that out. And then figure out, okay, are there current ways of teaching them? So let's see. Kim is asking, Cheryl, are your courses for the teachers then and not the children? Oh, because Kim's responding to Cheryl's question. Good idea, Alan. Just learned about Flipgrid. Could maybe use that free platform. Oh, yeah, that's the video. Flipgrid is the video sharing app for schools. Yes, that is a super fun application. I did a little bit of testing with it when it first came out. And it's definitely geared towards schools. So early learning programs. So let me get back. So let's get back to Cheryl's question specifically. So we collected data on course completion to meet the requirements of funders. So the people that fund the early learning programs have certain requirements of those schools and the instructors and that they meet. And so it's compliance training. So all of these schools, in order to get funding, have to meet these requirements, and the requirements are taking courses. Is that correct? Am I kind of summing that up correctly? We have up to about 700 staff, so most quizzes are multiple choice, true, false. Yes, and it's very common, very, very, very common. And we want to know, how do we go to the next step to determine comprehension of the procedures beyond the ability to pass the quiz? Now, do we want comprehension or performance? So if you're going to determine comprehension, that might be a little bit easier because that's a little bit more academic. So you could have them, write, instead of doing a multiple choice and a true false, have them write and do an essay style, or have them solve a problem based on it or something like that. But I would think that you would more than likely, you would want them to actually have it to show how it is that they are applying all of the procedures and everything that they've learned. So it sounds like everybody's really psyched on the Flipgrid thing. Let me just throw out to the crowd real quick too. If anybody would rather, instead of chatting, if you'd like to jump into the video and help us talk through some answers for Cheryl, or Cheryl, if you'd like to jump in and talk with us, let me know, and I'll invite you to video, and we can have a conversation about it. Oh, great. Thanks, Alan. And so Alan Natachu is offering to help with Flipgrid if anybody is interested in learning it. Ah, cool. All right, Alan, I'll bring you right in. Let me click on the right buttons. I'll close that window and then I'll let you load up here. And while you're doing that, I'm going to put my phone up here. Hey, good morning, Alan. How are you?
Good morning. I don't know if you could see me, but
you're on. Are you having trouble seeing yourself?
Yeah. So as long as you can hear me or see me, I don't know. I'm doing this off of the mobile device.
Oh, it's working. Yeah, no, I can see you.
All right, cool.
Yep.
So I got an idea about how to see if the procedure landed or not.
Cool.
I know with Captivate, the latest version, you can do 360 VR stuff. One of them is 360 video. Well, you can do a little video short in 360 in real time, have them go through the procedure and see whether or not they did it correctly or not. Not the people who need to learn it, but watch the video and see if it works. And then they could turn around and see, okay, I see that that crate is not properly loaded or whatever. And then they can see it in action, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So let's remind people what Flipgrid looks like. Let me actually, maybe I could share a screen here real quick.
This is a 360 video. This is different from Flipgrid.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So,
but I can talk about Flipgrid too.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that 360 then. So maybe Cheryl can help us. Like, what are those procedures? Are they physical procedures, Cheryl? Are they things that people are doing, or is it like filling out the proper paperwork for the students? Or I'd be curious to know like what some of the assessment is. Like the what are the questions assessing? What are those procedures that they have to do? I have some assumptions kind of knocking around in my head, but I don't want to just assume that.
And then you could be very generalized. Oh, this is completely wrong. You could tell within the first 10 seconds. And then as you progress through the 5, 6, 7, 8 questions, toward the last one, you could say, okay, what was wrong? It could be just something like a hair difference. Like, oh, you used the thing on the left when it should be on the right, or something like that. So they'll get progressively harder.
Yeah.
So it makes them think about the procedure.
Yep, as they do it. I think it'd be Yeah, you might want to just over time, like for that kind of thing, you would just capture one at a time and then just start a library of it. I mean, this isn't the type of thing that I think, if I'm hearing you correctly, I mean, it's not the type of thing that you would like do a big project plan for and say, okay, we need, 50 videos, 360 videos on all of these
Hmm.
different types of procedures. I would say you just shoot one on one of the procedures, like the easiest, put it out there, get some feedback, and then maybe do another one on another procedure. As I'm reading Cheryl's comments here about, she says some are physical, some are assessment procedures, documentation, and understanding of several policies, timelines, etc. So yeah, so this is extremely helpful for us, I think. So what would you think about that, Alan?
I would think that would be a perfect application for this because one of the things that I am working on here is building a VR and AR space for our faculty so they could come in, get trained up, and develop projects for their own classes. So I'm really excited about that. We start in next summer with launching that.
Oh, that'll be so cool. All
Yeah.
right, so you're launching
So
it. Are you building a studio then for them, or
yeah,
some way?
this where I'm sitting right now, that's going to be gone, and we're going to build a nice size studio. And we also going to build something called the Whisper Room, which is going to be right next to it,
Okay.
walk-in sound booth, so that people could do their voiceover and whatnot.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so yeah, so let get the faculty to start doing it. So, yeah, super cool. So I would be curious. So what are your thoughts on? So as I'm reading Cheryl's challenges here, like if she's got documentation and understanding of several policies, would a 360 video though be necessary for something like that?
That would be more of a Q&A thing now, or not Q&A, multiple choice question.
Yeah.
Unless the policy was before 6 p.m., everything remains open, and at 6 everything closes. That kind of scenario where it's actually physically based.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the 360 video is a killer idea and fantastic for the physical stuff. So she says some are physical.
Mhm.
So this might be one of those situations where for each one of the different policies or the documentation or the things, I guess, what am I looking for? The requirements that the funders have, whether they're policies, their knowledge of them and whatnot. The assessment is going to have to be unique. I don't think this is going to be a one size fits all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it could be a nice change of pace to the other content that's there too.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I was just thinking. I think all the stuff that is physical that you could collect those 360 videos and either one use them to just show and teach the content, right? But then to your point earlier too, have them create the 360 video of them doing it and showing that they understand the procedure and understand the process, and then everybody can share those with each other. And
And just get out your phone and do the procedure, making sure that they know how to go. They can grab someone, take a quick video, and go through that physical procedure just
yep.
for that comprehension part. So in addition to this test, you got to submit a video.
Very cool. Very cool. I love it. I love it. Cheryl, yeah, I mean, this is a good brainstorming session for the issues. I'm so glad you're going to be at TLDC 19 as well. We can definitely continue to help you with some other brainstorming sessions, and I'm sure a lot of the conversations that are there are going to spark some other wonderful ideas to ponder. So, so good stuff. What else are you working on, Alan? So 360 video, that's going to be awesome. But what else you got going on?
Right now, what's staring in front of me is I'm converting a PDF, making it accessible. It's our course catalog, so it's a fairly hefty document, and it's a public document. So I'm recreating it because I can't get the accessibility to work with the document that they gave me. So yeah. So it's a lot of just sit down and work.
You know what? That's a great question. Not to totally sidetrack us, but we've been trying to set up a conversation around accessibility for a while, and we just haven't really, been able to like find an available expert on that. Is that something that you're confronted with a lot? Is like the 503C compliance? Is that the lettering it still is today, or
A little bit. My role is to help faculty with their tech, and part of that tech is learning how to utilize the tools to make it accessible to all students. So
okay?
basic things like Word docs, PDFs, how to make that accessible, how to make videos accessible, and new technology comes in. Okay, how can we make this available for everyone despite disability?
Right, right. And so what have you come across? Any real light bulbs go off for you and go, wow, I didn't even know we could do that, or that we needed to do that, or what?
With 360 video, I see that there's going to be a lot more focus on audio, because the 360 video looks pretty clean, but just like with cell phone video, any other video, people can forgive bad video. They will not forgive bad audio. And being able to capture that sound in 360 in a 360 environment will become even more crucial to make that experience real.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree. And we've talked about this a lot before on Video Friday and on our audio episodes, that that sound is incredibly important. Sound before visuals, which is, you know, it's interesting because as I sit here and say that out loud, I think about all of the neuroscience stuff and the conversations we have there. And all of the science and all of the data says is our number one most powerful learning sense is our vision. 80% of all of the stuff that we take in is our vision. Yet, for those of us creating video, we know that the most powerful thing that's going to keep them around is having good quality audio.
Yep.
You know, and so like you said, people are forgiving of the video, but they're not so forgiving of the audio. But yet at the same time, we have this conundrum, if you will. I don't know if that's the right word, but we're also aware that visual is the most powerful learning of our senses. So it's kind of, the two kind of battle against each other. But while I totally relate to them both and understand why they are the way they are, they do seem to be at odds.
Mm-hmm. And with making VR accessible, there's I think that would be key to getting the audio just right. There's a device being developed by Microsoft. It looks like the white cane. You know, a blind person would use a white cane to kind of guide themselves around, but it's interactive and it provides haptic response. So if they tap something in the VR world, it'll provide a response.
Oh, that would be very, very cool.
So there are steps to getting it more accessible, but it's still a little ways away. I want to check out Microsoft's accessibility controller for their Xbox. So yeah, there's Microsoft has been doing a lot of things to make their platforms available to everyone.
Yeah, I have heard that they've got a great accessibility lab that does all of that stuff, and they've started to integrate that into all their other departments as well for their hardware stuff. So they're definitely leading in that space for sure. So just, you know, to kind of follow along with the point of video and audio, I think my video looks fantastic, but apparently my video looks horrible to everybody else, and your video looks awesome. So is that still the same for everybody? I'm just curious. And what about the audio? Is my audio bad?
Your audio is kind of breaking in and out for me, and I am, yeah, but other than that, everything sounds good, or it looks good.
Huh. That is very strange. So I wonder if it's a data thing. I'm also watching us on my mobile device, so maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm like drawing too much bandwidth out of my Wi-Fi. I'll shut down my phone and I'll stop streaming. See if I, oh, you know what it is? I forgot. During the holidays, all of my kids are home. They're not in school, so everybody's probably streaming Netflix or something. That's what it is. I forgot I had to put a sign up in the kitchen last year and to remind everybody when they woke up and had breakfast, don't turn on anything during my show. All right. It's a good reminder. It's a good reminder.
Well, it's the
So
halftime
fun.
mark. Do you want to take a little break
Yeah,
and
it is the
do
halftime
your thing?
mark. Yep, I do.
Okay.
We have a sponsor this week, so I
All right.
do need to take a break today. So, oh, and then Craig's here too. Good to see you, Craig. All right, Alan. Thanks for jumping into the video window. Appreciate that.
Yep, you're welcome. I'm going to head back to my PDF.
All right, yeah. Stay busy. Get that job done. Good to see you, man. Take care.
See ya.
All right, everybody. Let's take a quick break here today and tell everybody about a couple things. Specifically, whether your business, college, or organization is looking for e-learning, serious games, or training simulations, Designing Digitally will take your training needs to the next level. Every solution Designing Digitally provides is custom tailored to the client's specific needs and helps achieve organizational objectives through the use of innovative online learning experiences. Designing Digitally specializes in creating educational, engaging, and entertaining learning experiences that will stick with your learners and increase retention. All right. I shut my video quickly during that little break to, oh, come on, just let me. There we go. Now I'm back. Man, oh man. Yeah, just to check to see if the kids were streaming any video or anything, but they seem to not be here, so it can't be that. I don't know what the problem is. Anyways, we'll fix that. But anyways, sorry we didn't have Andrew on today. He apologized profusely for not being able to be here today, but he was working till like 5 a.m. or something like that, and so super busy guy, and he needed to get some shut eye, which I totally understand. So screen share is crisp, my video is fuzzy. Well, dang it, I'm not too sure why it's doing that. I think it's a Crowdcast thing. So if I went like this, now since it's the only video on the screen, maybe it clears up. Ah, well, that's good to know. Oh, it's not better for Lita. I'm sorry. I just can't win. I can't win today, but anyways, while we're at that 30-minute break, let me just continue to tell everybody, for those of you that showed up late and maybe missed the intro today, don't forget to get registered for TLDC 19, January 28th and 29th. Get signed up as soon as possible. January and February are both super busy times of the year in Phoenix, and hotel space starts to get a little bit limited this time of year. So if you have not gotten a place to stay, your best bet might be Airbnb, or you might have to find a hotel that's a little bit further away than we would like. Yes, or my house. Maybe I'll have to open up an Airbnb and see if that can see if I can make some rooms available. But yes, you can pitch a tent. We'll rent a big RV and pull it in the front yard, and everybody can just stay in the RV. We'll just call it the TLDC RV. That's a whole lot of letters. But anyways, we'll work it out for you. If you can't find a place to stay, and the hotels are all sold out by the time you get registered, we will figure something out for you. There's always an option, so just let us know, and we'll see what we can do for you. But yeah, there's definitely lots of options. But if you want to stay in the closest hotel to the venue, that's just a really, really short walk. That one still has some nights available, but I think the last time we checked with them, Sunday night had sold out. So you might have to get a different hotel for Sunday night, but then Monday night and Tuesday night you can still book at the event hotel. So that is just something to consider. As I'm scrolling through this myself. Yeah, definitely hit up the website for sure. All right. So we gave some great ideas to ponder for Cheryl and her challenges that she faces. I really appreciate her being brave enough to jump in and offer that up as a conversation piece, and for Alan for dropping into the video and offering up some ideas on 360. That was fantastic as well. Appreciate that. It's not always easy to just turn on that video camera and just jump into a live stream. So it's all quite valuable. And thank you for doing that. I always have great respect and appreciation for those willing to do so. So if you've got any other things coming up or ideas, things that you want to talk about, the data and the analytics is still on the table as a point of conversation. If you'd like to continue that conversation, I see Craig is still here. I was mentioning earlier, Craig, I think before you dropped in, that I wasn't on Twitter all day yesterday, but was catching up before the show today and saw that our conversation from yesterday continued for quite some time on data and analytics, and I didn't have time to make any responses. But yeah, some interesting points being made for sure. I think for me, the point that maybe got missed, maybe it came earlier in the tweets, was I don't disagree with anything that anybody is saying in those tweets. For me, it's all about if. Right? There's always a big if in front of the data collection topic. So if it's cheap and easy to collect, then yeah, why not collect it? You know, I don't know. I'll have to think a little bit more clearly about that. But anyways, all right, let's jump in. Sorry, Laura, I missed your question in the Ask a Question section. So we'll jump right into that. How important is social media to growing an L&D business? Ooh, boy, this is a hot topic. Okay. And how many of you feel like it has been valuable in growing your business, independent contractors and freelancers? So first of all, drop in the chat if you consider yourself to be an independent contractor or a freelancer, or if you use social media to grow your personal brand. I think that might be another way to look at this too, right, Laura? I mean, some people have full-time jobs, but they're utilizing social media to just enhance their career and to enhance their personal brand. And so it may not specifically be right now, they may not be contractors and freelancers, but maybe there's a goal down the road and they're trying to boost that while they've got the full-time day job, and so they can hit the ground running. Yeah, what is so it's a great question. How important is it, especially in light of the Facebook news today? Facebook just keeps getting slammed about their handling of personal data and all that kind of good stuff. So I'd be curious to know as well. So how important is social media to growing an L&D business? What do you guys think? Dan says, using LinkedIn and Twitter is a necessity for staying relevant in the freelance market. Alex is still on. I don't think you're in MySpace, Alex, but funny nonetheless. Yeah, it's good. So, but I mean, so what do you guys think? Hey, yeah, don't ever feel bad about being honest in your comments about products or sponsors or anything like that. Don't let the fact that anybody is a sponsor, hold your tongue. We're not at the mercy of sponsors. While we do like them all and treat them all nicely, we all know that they like feedback. So any feedback, even negative feedback, is helpful for them. So it's always appreciated. Thomas says, not a consultant or freelancer, but I'm actively using social media to create buzz of our learning culture with my internal employees. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yep. Yep, that's a great way to do it. And for those of you that have not been following Thomas, he does an amazing job using social media, I will say. He's doing some great video stuff on LinkedIn. If you haven't seen what he's doing there, yeah, he's killing it on the socials. So definitely good stuff. What else am I missing in the chat here? It looks like I'm missing some good tips and tricks. Building a brand with your thought leadership related to learning keeps your name on the top of minds. Yep. Kim says, I think Twitter could really be important for branding, even more than LinkedIn. Facebook, not so much. Instagram would be key regarding visuals. Yeah, each one. So interestingly enough, that this came up in the conversation. So I don't know if all of you know that I do another live stream for Domino Software, the Canadian company. I do some consulting work with them, and a lot actually as their community manager as well, and helping them build their credibility in the space utilizing social media. I also do it, and we call it Idiotic, instructional designers in offices drinking coffee. And we had our episode this morning. We had Ray Jimenez on, and which was a great conversation. If you want to catch that recording, you can go to idiodc.com and check that out. But we're taking a couple weeks off, just like TLD Cast will be taking some time off. But on Wednesday, January 9th, my good friend Brian Fanzo, otherwise known as iSocialFans on the Twitters, will be joining us as a guest on Idiotic. And he was one of our keynote presenters. We had him come in virtually at TLDC 18. And he is my social media go-to guy. He knows all the things about the social media and how it all works, everything from Snapchat to Instagram to Twitter to Facebook, all that kind of stuff. And so he's going to be our guest on Idiotic on the 9th, Wednesday, January 9th. So if you want to really hear from somebody that's really got it all going on and meet him and get to know him, check out Idiotic on the 9th. It's going to be fun. Fun conversation for sure. Laura also adds to the question, how much of your personality, and she puts that in quotes, do you let free on your professional social media profiles? Man, that's a great question too. I think I missed a bunch of the conversations, and I'm jumping in kind of late. But Alan says he's naturally goofy and geeky, so that comes out a lot of my professional profiles. Yeah, well, Laura, I think it's hard for people. Yeah, stay clear of politics. I think that's a great tip. And to Dan's point, yes, I think it does depend on your personality. I think some people can get away with being like, it's branding, right? I mean, I think all of this revolves around what we can learn from the marketing industry as far as branding is concerned. What do you want your brand to be? Some people can get away with having a very humorous, informal, funny, kind of relaxed brand, their personal brand on their professional profiles. And others, it would probably work against them. I think it depends on how you want to position yourself, what type of job you're looking for, what type of industry are you looking to support. Is that industry more of a formalized type industry that takes things, maybe a little bit more seriously? Like, I think somebody that's looking to work in, let's say, Hollywood and in film, even if it's in like being an accountant for a film company or something like that, it's still, that industry is very different than, let's say, Wall Street and the financial industry. So how how do you want to present yourself? And you got to target yourself. You have to kind of know what you want, what direction you want to go in. And normally your personality is going to be guiding that. I think, if as a fun, relaxed sort of personality, you might not be interested in working in an environment that is not all that fun and relaxing. So, there's a lot of flexibility there. Bill Harrison, love you, man. That's a great comment. How to be authentic without being contrived. That is the question we're all going after, right? Yeah, Kara and Myra would be great guests to have on to talk about that. Absolutely. Maybe we could do that of part of the conversation on Wild, the women in L&D that we do once a month. Because, and the only reason why I say that positioning it, that conversation in that group is that I think it is different for women. I think how I think there are just different challenges. And I've heard about all of them. That's the only reason why I bring it up. So if anybody feels like I'm being sexist right now, I'm very sorry. But it's not me. It's just I've hear all the stories, and this just seems like it would be a good fit, a good conversation to have. Be a great conversation to have in general, but when we do Wild, it's an open conversation as a whole. And since we have two women who are really good at it, they could be part of the Wild conversation, and we could talk about it in that forum. So it's just an idea. I'll throw it out into the TLD chat and see what people think. But Craig says got pulled away to a meeting again. Yeah, we all know the feeling. We got about 10 minutes before everybody gets pulled away to their next meeting. So Q says, please do the opposite of what I said. You've just been Costanza'd. Oh, thanks for the support, Alan. I appreciate that. Yeah, I do. I think it'd be a good forum for us to have that conversation in with the women in L&D. I think it would be good for sure. Yeah, and it's all stuff we do have to talk about. Keeping a positive, helpful tone is key. Lightheartedness in humor comes across well. Sarcasm and ridicule, not so much. Yeah, I think that's one thing I've always taught my kids, even from their earliest engagement with social media as young kids. You can't go wrong with just one simple rule, and that is always be nice. Just be nice. Even if you're mad at somebody for something they said to you, don't be mad back. Always be nice. Always, always, always be nice. Yes, Craig, I did explain why we had no Andy today, but thank you for reminding me. For those who maybe jumped in a little bit late, our guest that was supposed to be here today worked exceptionally late through the night and needed to get some sleep. So he's the hardest working guy I know, and he's also a father with some young kids, and I'm more than happy to let him go get some rest after a long night working. So totally get it. The sarcasm is how my family says I love you. Yes, I think it's all context, right? We talk about this in learning all the time. The context of everything is the most important piece. The content, the content is just the content. It can all be interpreted differently depending upon the context within which that content is being presented. So same goes here. The context of what you say on LinkedIn could be interpreted very differently than saying the exact same thing on Twitter or saying the exact same thing on Facebook. So understanding all of that is interesting. Oh, Thomas has a great point. He says, I know this sounds trite, but I encourage folks to be themselves. So if you're putting yourself out there on social in any capacity, being yourself goes a long way because others connect with us for being human. And I would say that that is a fantastic way for us to close up this segment of TLD Cast. And I think it takes a lot of energy to try to be somebody that you're not. And it's just not worth it. So being yourself, absolutely. If you need, if you're spending too much time thinking about how you need to act or what you need to do, or you need to dress a certain way, or you need to talk a certain way, or you need to say certain things, if you're spending too much time doing that, then you're probably trying to be somebody that you're not. And just be yourself. You'll hear Brian Fanzo say, and he actually has a keynote presentation that he delivers a lot, titled "Push the Damn Button." And yes, that's a technical, it has sort of a technical bent to it, the keynote and the title of the keynote and the content that's in it. But in general, it's just do it. Just be yourself, push record, and just go live and just practice. You get better at it by doing it. We of all people should know, as training professionals, that you can read about it as much as you want. You can listen to me talk about it. You can listen to Thomas, and you can see all the stuff that he does. You can watch other people do it as much as you want, but until you push the damn button and record something and put it out there and just do it, it's all useless. It's all useless information until you actually start doing it, because that's how you find your voice. That's how you find comfort in being live online. It's how you it's how you do it. It's how you are going to end up presenting yourself and getting comfortable being able to talk into a live camera, or even if it's just recorded, even if you're iPhone and recording it before you're publishing it, maybe it's not live, that still is hard to do, and you still have to push that record button. Sooner or later, you got to push that record button. All right, everybody's plussing up Thomas here, and I'm trying to find out what his last comment was. Are we all just for the comment I just read, or did I miss another one? I'm scrolling back, and it doesn't look like I missed one, but yeah, see, I mean, it's okay to suck in your videos. It's okay to think that it's bad, because it is in these instances. If I don't think you do, by the way, I know we're all critical of our own, selves, but every time I see in my LinkedIn stream, when I open it up and you're there doing a video, I watch, because you're offering good advice. And your audio is clear and the video is clear, and maybe you think the lighting is bad, or maybe you don't like the backdrop, or maybe you don't like how it comes out, or whatever. I can at least still hear it. So it's all good stuff. It is, and you just got to do it. You have to push it out there. So yeah, self-deprecation for the win. And yes, okay, so right, so I got very self-conscious when everybody said that Alan's video looked better than mine. I can't have that. Oh no, I mean, it is part of everybody trying to do this. So yeah. Oh yes, everybody should absolutely get connected with Thomas on LinkedIn. At least if you're okay with that, Thomas. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my video quality. I don't know why it went down. I'm gonna have to check my. I'm gonna have to reboot all of my routers. I think maybe that's it. My son's been doing a lot of Xbox, so maybe that's taking up all the bandwidth, or maybe that rejiggered the Wi-Fi or something. I don't know. Sounds like there's going to be a lot of stalking going on. Awesome. I'm still trying to get the timing just right so that when Thomas is in Phoenix, he and I can meet for coffee or lunch or something. So we're going to make this work one of these days, Thomas. I promise. It's just, when you get into town, you always got work to do and you're busy and my schedule is just kind of crazy all over the place. So, but we'll make it happen for sure. We'll make it happen. So I need to follow back up with actually one of your colleagues that was interested in TLDC 19. I know you can't make it, but one of your colleagues from Master Electronics was curious about the event, and we exchanged emails, but I need to follow back up with him and see if he's still interested. For sure. But anyways, I think that's good for today, everybody. Fantastic conversations. I'm so glad everybody's getting connected and reaching out and sharing your skills for social media. And Cheryl, again, thanks for asking your question and sharing the challenge of the work that you do. It's fantastic. If anybody wants to learn more about the social media stuff, if this is a really good, interesting topic that everybody really would want to participate in and learn, we can schedule some time. All of our rooms and all the official times are booked for the event. We've got sessions already locked and loaded and whatnot, but there's always time like during lunch and in the evenings and things like that. So if we want to put together an additional sort of hands-on session with social media, that might be kind of fun for everybody. So lots of different ideas. And if we want to talk more about it and see how people do social media, we can obviously schedule them to be on TLDcast as a guest. Maybe we could have Thomas back on as a guest, and he can give us some tips and tricks on how he does his LinkedIn videos and how he gets over the fact that he doesn't like the videos that he's pushing out there. So anybody else out there that wants to jump in and talk social media, maybe we should do that. So playlist on social media. Yes, Alan, genius. There we go. All right, let's move this conversation over into TLD chat. If you guys want to jump into Slack and we can offer some tips and tricks with each other in the Slack group, let's do that. But for now, let me just say thanks again, everybody, for hanging out with us today. Again, apologize for Andy not being here today, but he sends his good wishes to everyone, and we will definitely have him back on because he is always fun to have. We have him on at least once a month, but maybe we can have him on to make up for him missing today. So we'll make sure we get him on maybe before the end of the year. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, everybody, don't forget to, if you have not become a full-time member of TLDC, please do that. Click on the membership link, hit up the Slack channel. Don't forget to register for the conference. And everybody get out there, train somebody new. Don't forget to learn something new. You guys are great. We'll talk to you later. Adios.
Aha!